You don't need cloud APIs, subscriptions, or expensive GPUs to run AI anymore. You can run a ChatGPT-level model directly on your laptop, completely offline, private, and under your control. This isn't theory. This is a real app. A local AI model generating responses in real time, streaming token by token, and even answering using files stored on your machine. We're going to build this step by step. A simple pipeline where your app talks to a local model, keeps memory across messages, and can pull context from your own documents. No cloud involved. Under the hood, we'll use Python for the API, Ollama to run the model locally, and a lightweight UI to interact with it. Nothing fancy, just a clean setup you can actually run on your machine. First step, get the local model running. Once Ollama is installed and a model like Llama 3 is pulled, we'll test streaming responses, because if that works, everything else builds on top of it. Quick sanity test. Send a tiny prompt through the Ollama client and watch stream tokens. Wrong model or endpoint. Catch it here, not hidden under a UI that swallows errors. Your early warning, still local. Streaming gives the chat feel. Wrap Ollama's chat endpoint with streaming, read events as they arrive, yield partial text to the UI. Parse right and it feels responsive, parse wrong and it freezes, even if the model is fine. Expose/chat in fast API, message plus session history, streaming wrapper, streaming response. SSE works, not one blocking completion. Your UI stays snappy. The server isn't stuck on a long call. On the front end, consume the stream. In Gradio, append tokens into the assistant bubble until the stream ends. Want my fast API plus Gradio wiring? Comment chatbot here, while streaming works, not 20 minutes from now. Session memory isn't mysticism, it's bookkeeping. Store history per user in memory or SQLite, prepend a stable system prompt, and truncate before you blow the context window. If you're retrieving snippets, keep the most relevant chunks alongside recent turns so the model isn't answering from amnesia. Treat your system prompt like config, not poetry. Spell out format, tone, refusal behavior, and how to use retrieve sources. Then you can A/I/B test prompt variants offline and measure what actually changes, without rewriting your whole stack every time you tweak a sentence. Want answers grounded in your docs? Build a private index offline, chunk local files, embed with a local model, write vectors to face on disk. The chatbot can cite your material instead of generic fluff. At query time, keep retrieval boring and reliable. Embed the question locally, run a top-K similarity search, and pull passages with metadata, file name, section, whatever helps citations. Fix your chunking and top-K, and the same question won't yank random context every time you ask it. When you assemble the prompt, be explicit. System rules, retrieved passages, then the user question. Ask for tight citations, file name plus line or section, so the model has to point to evidence. The goal is grounded answers, not confident guessing when the snippet doesn't actually support the claim. Safety is local policy. Cap tokens and temperature, check before and after generation, block obvious secrets or PI. If you add tools, allow list file system access and return clean refusals, no external moderation API. The corrected step is executed again. The system replaces the faulty output and continues the workflow without restarting the entire process. Treat observability seriously. Log timings for retrieve, prompt assembly, model latency, and streaming duration. Capture stack traces on failures. Add request IDs. When an answer suddenly takes 8 seconds instead of 200 milliseconds, you'll actually know which step blew up. Failures happen, plan for them. Wrap Ollama with timeouts, retries, and backoff. Validate streamed chunks before render. If the stream dies, show a clear error without losing session so users can retry.
Tune for the machine you own.
Use quantized weights when you need to, shrink the context window to what you'll really use, and lean on the GPU when it's available. Cap output length for faster streaming, and don't let concurrency spike so hard that your laptop starts swapping into oblivion. If multiple people hit your machine, serialize responsibly. Use multiple workers or an async queue and stream each client independently. The whole point is to keep one slow generation from freezing everyone else's UI. Local doesn't mean single-threaded suffering. If you want to claim privacy, prove it like an engineer. Bind services to 127.0.0.1. Block outbound traffic with a firewall if you need to, and verify DNS/egress isn't leaking. Flip Wi-Fi off if it still works. You've earned the bragging rights. Make startup boring and repeatable. One command brings up API plus UI. Open the local URL, and you're in. Document the host, port, log location, and how to stop and restart cleanly. No dashboards in the cloud, just a service on your machine that you actually understand. Persistence matters when someone refreshes the browser. Store conversations in SQLite. Keep retrieval metadata attached to message IDs, and on reconnect reload the last few turns plus the same snippets so the assistant doesn't meet you for the first time every refresh. Make the project portable across machines. Check in a log file, write down which Ollama models you expect, and note where the model cache lives. A small bootstrap script goes a long way. Your future self shouldn't need detective work to reproduce the same offline setup. Measure quality offline. Run scripted prompts, score answers with simple rubrics, accuracy, grounding, refusal quality, and keep the dataset local. When you change chunking or prompts, you'll see whether you actually improved or just shuffled randomness around. When you iterate, change one knob at a time. Chunk size, top K, system prompt, temperature, and rerun your benchmarks. That's how you avoid the classic failure mode. 10 tweaks at once, zero idea what helped. It's slower, but it's how you build trust in the system. Optional next step. Local tools after the answer. Summarize a file, transform JSON, run a safe script, but only through an allow list. Validate inputs and outputs so the model can suggest actions without turning your laptop into an open-ended shell bot. If you use tool calling, enforce structure. Make the model emit JSON that matches a schema, validate it, reject garbage early, and reprompt only the tool layer when needed, so your main chat stays stable even when tool arguments get messy. Draw hard boundaries. Sandbox file reads to specific folders, sanitize anything that looks like shell, and audit tool calls with timestamps. The sweet spot is automation you can trust, private, controlled, and explainable when something goes wrong. For day-to-day use, make startup feel like a product, a launcher that boots the server, loads models, and opens the chat URL. Add a tiny checklist, models cached, firewall posture, docs indexed, so run local AI isn't a ritual every single time. Real-world wins. Private study sessions, summarizing PDFs you actually own, reviewing your own repo, drafting reports from local templates. The technical flex isn't chat exists. It's citations and retrieval that stay on disk, so your knowledge doesn't leak by accident. If you want a full build, the Ollama wiring, fast API streaming route, Gradio UI, optional RAG, plus safety around tools, comment chatbot, and I'll share the complete stack. Everything here runs on your machine on your terms.